What's going on, guys? Today I am here to talk about Rick Ross, and he has been very vocal. Obviously, he and Drake were part of the giant Kendrick beef that happened in 2024, with Ross also kind of taking a side, which was very surprising to people given his relationship with Drake over the years. And more recently, with the Iceman stuff, he has been vocal again about Drake. It was leading up to the release, he was making comments, and then also he is now taking some shots at Rory and Mal, I guess, because of their opinions on Iceman. And I am just very confused on why he is thinking that this is a great time for him to speak up. I don't know if it's just because he's trying to promote his stuff and he just knows that the general buzz and clicks will come if he mentions Drake. So he doesn't really care about maybe what people think about it. He's just doing that anyway. But I mean, it's just kind of sad for a lot of reasons. The one being is just like clearly this shows that you are much more in need of Drake than Drake was ever really in need of you. To be honest, I don't know at the start of their relationship. Maybe that was different, but at least now, especially post beef, I mean, who's really checking for? I'm not gonna say no one's checking for Rick Ross music, but there was demand for Drake music post beef, and that just doesn't really exist for Rick Ross the same way, or at least not to the extent. And so he's bringing up the beef from 2 years ago at this point, and all just to basically repeat what everyone kind of already knew he thought and his outlook on the thing, all just for the clicks. And it's just sad, especially with this Rory and Mal thing, because he's going after an OVO affiliate, talking about how he got, arrested for weed and stuff. It's just like, with all of the things that everyone knows about Rick Ross and the correctional officer stuff, you think he'd be a lot more wary about talking crap on people with how contradictory his position is with the like. He still blows me away as like how no one really cared. Like, he made good enough music that everyone was willing to completely disregard all of the correctional officer shit. And this is after we've had all of these like snitching allegation things come out, and entire audiences will leave because they feel that the artist that they were supporting is not living the lifestyle that they claim to be or were kind of implying to portray through their music. When Rick Ross was a correctional officer, it's like you weren't even just like snitching. You were like, actually, I'll take a paycheck, work for you, and do all that too. And like I said, like, people just kind of let it go at the time, or at the very least, it just wasn't really the stain on his career that most people, I think, would have thought it would be. But when you're constantly now speaking on things that like don't really need to be, like, the beef 2 years later, like, okay, maybe when things first popped off, you want to take a side, like, okay, I guess do what you want. But it's once again, even with him doing that, he's joining the many people of like, oh, so it was cool to be cool with Drake when it was very, very helpful for your career. And now that it is very helpful for your career to be a giant Drake hater, that is the train you're hopping on when you've been radio silent about not liking Drake or having any type of problems with him prior to that. I think that's a lot of people's big issues with all of the beef affiliates, for lack of a better word, like all the people that kind of got like ASAP Rocky, Ross. Those are the big ones that obviously come to mind off the top of my head. But it's just like, you'd think that knowing your position, you'd be a little bit like less, provocative with the things that you're saying and the people that you are saying them towards, because you obviously just have this dirty laundry, which I guess has already been aired. But I do think that just like the optics of everything, like, you kind of look goofy every time that you bring things up like this, and that is like a skeleton that is in your closet and everybody knows it. So what are you doing, my guy? Especially like, he released his album cover for this his newest project that's coming out soon, and everyone was clowning on that, calling it corny. I mean, it does look very, very AI generated. And then not only that, but people are also dropping like multiple other people that have kind of already done that concept. So just overall, this is not a great time, I would say, for Rick Ross to be like inserting himself into these headlines with trying to like artificially create buzz around his name. And again, every single time it comes up, it is something to do with Drake. I hate to be that guy that's low key riding Drake right now, but it's just factual at this point because I mean, I do not hate Kendrick Lamar, and I think he made good music, and I think he objectively won the beef. If that at all shows that I'm not just being a D rider here for Drake, like I genuinely think that the people that like did the side like kind of beef stuff, like ASAP Rocky, that to me is kind of lame. Less so ASAP Rocky, just because I think that there's a lot less history between them, and it just makes more sense that they could have drifted apart. But I mean, Future, that was the other one. Obviously, though, he's come back, I guess, with Drake. He's on Iceman and all that. But it's just like, yeah, dude, you have this storied relationship with the guy, and then you turn on him, and like now, even 2 years later, after everything's already settled, and now you're trying to bring this stuff back up to generate some buzz around your new stuff that is coming out. And it just feels so sad to see, because like yelling at Rory and Mal about what they think about Iceman, and it's just like, what do you want them to do? Just puppet, like, just hate on it because it's Drake? Like, that's not their job. That is not what they're there to do within their capacity of like their role on their show. They're there to talk about music and give their honest opinions about it. And if it happens to be whoever dropping it, if it's good music, they will hopefully report back that it was good music. So I just think he just looks very, very lame for calling. Not to mention, he's talking about how he doesn't care or anything, where it's like, how big is Rory and Mal? Like, are they even the top five, like, hip hop, like, news people? Like, I don't think so. No disrespect to them. They're a very sizable platform in the grand scheme of things, but it's just like, you claim to not care, yet you're watching, like, the sixth biggest show talk about, like, the Iceman, and you don't like what their opinions are on it. Like, I don't know. It just seems very, very lame to me. But let me know what you guys think. Is there something I'm missing here that somehow makes Rick Ross not look as kind of sorry as he does right now? Let me know. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll catch you. Peace.